Hi friends! How's it going? Welcome back to AmandaMuse live. Let's see if there's anyone around so I'm not just talking to myself because that's awkward. Let's see. So I'm coming at you later today. I'd hoped to do a live video this morning. Oh, hi. But life, it happens, right? So in today's video, I want to talk about, hi Katie, hi Sarah. All the people are jumping on here. So in today's video, let's see if am I looking in the right direction? Ooh, hello California. There's Kara, Morgan, Iram, Myra, all sorts of awesome people. Thank you for hopping in. Thank you. So in tonight's video, I want to talk about life beyond motherhood because it's hard to believe, but we were people before we had children. So I want to talk about that and how do we get back to that? If we've lost that sense of who we are, how do we find that again? And can you be both this person who loves motherhood and someone who loves being alone or just loves their own things and having their own interests and hobbies and all that stuff? Hi Gemma, thank you. I think it's kind of fun. I shared this article. I know, right, Katie? There's more than diapers? What? It's crazy. Ooh, hi, Emily from Australia. Awesome. So over on Facebook this past week, I'm not getting anything live yet. I'm here. No, I think there's people here. It should hopefully level out. But over on Facebook, I shared an article that was on Motherly. And it talked about, loving motherhood. Sorry, my eyelashes. I just got my eyelashes done today and I'm just getting accustomed to them. But it talked about loving motherhood, but also kind of wanting to run for the hills and do your own thing, and how you can totally have both and feel both of those things at the same time, and it still makes you an awesome mom. So I thought I would share a little bit of my story. When I first had Esme, this is kind of where this channel stemmed from, but I had just had Esme. I was living in Malaysia. I had completely lost track of who I was and what my interests were because I was living in a brand new place. Yes, Amanda, we do have awesome names, let's be real. But here I was living in a brand new place, and I felt like I was so lost in this land of motherhood I hadn't even quite gotten a hold of yet. I didn't even know how I liked to dress. I didn't know what books I was interested in. It was all very, the Amanda I used to know. I felt like I didn't even know where to find her, And I feel like it took some time to get used to my new role as a mom and my responsibility as a mom. And then to sort of go, I can still love being a mom and love Kara's having trouble here with the streaming. But you can still love being a mom, love all of the things about motherhood, and then really dislike all of those same things. So as an example, I was pretty sure that I was going to be rocking Esme to sleep every night until she moved out of our house. That child, we had this big bouncy ball, and I followed elements of attachment parenting. I didn't really know I was doing that then, but that's what I was doing. So it was a lot of breastfeeding every time, every time she basically opened her mouth to cry, there was a boob in that mouth. And to sleep, we nursed to sleep, and then I would rock her to sleep. And my whole mission was try to get her to bed so I can sneak off and have an hour to myself. And it didn't always work out. And I'm pretty sure there were many nights where I was just rocking her on this ball, sobbing, just I can't believe that this is what motherhood is. This is not what I expected. It's just really not what I had in mind. So many hours, Gemma, honestly. When I threw away that ball, I've never been so happy. I don't want to see a bouncy ball in my life for quite some time. But yeah, Mariette, you're in it right now, nursing her 6-month-old to sleep. It just feels like it'll never end. And especially the first time around, because that's the beauty of second and third children or fourth children, whatever it is. It's you don't quite realize the first time that these little phases are going to end. You do not see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so with Jack, I felt like that time in motherhood, I had come out of all the craziness. Thank you, Katie. Just trying to be honest. You know what I mean? But with Sarah, she's got a 7-month-old in her lap. Honestly, it's crazy times. But so you're with your first, you're just like in the thick of it all the time. And I remember every morning I would wake up and I would look at Dean and be like, I am so tired. Like, I am never gonna sleep again. And he, like, what's he gonna say? Do you know what I mean? Like, he can't nurse Esme back to sleep. He can't do any of those things. And I would be so tired and just be so angry how tired I was. And there was not enough coffee in the land to like bring me back to life. But then when nighttime would come and she would be all cozy and cuddly after a bath, tired since 2006. Yep. But there would be this chubby little baby smelling all sweet and fresh from the tub, and I would like nurse her to sleep and rock her to bed, or I'd put her in the Moby and we would just like bounce on that ball for 1,000 hours. Somehow it's like I could do it again. You know, so motherhood is just very layered. And I feel like as women, we're very layered. Like, my dad always used to say to me growing up, like, people are a mixed bag. They come with all different things. And he would use that in a different definition. Usually when I was having trouble with people, he'd be like, listen, people are layered and they just, you know, there's all sorts of elements to people's personalities. But I think as mothers, I think the message that I try to share is like, it's totally okay. You took the bouncy ball camping. Yeah, you have to, because you got to enjoy your life, right? But I think the message I try to share is like, it's totally okay to fall face first into motherhood and to be so immersed in every element of it, to love all of it, but then to come out the other end and still be super happy with finding yourself again. And in my case, it was discovering my love of makeup again. And it sounds so simple, but I don't know, when I looked in the mirror, like, I didn't really recognize myself after I had had Esme, and I was a lot heavier, and I just didn't really know who that woman was looking back at me. And then when I started to do things I liked, which was simple, like painting my nails and doing my makeup, which for me I enjoyed, it was like, oh yeah, Amanda likes to do that. Maybe Amanda should do more of that. And it's okay if Esme just sits in her little bouncy chair thingy while I get ready, because that's important for me. And it's like finding that balance, right? Whatever it is. So it's very interesting, this land of motherhood, and how, you know, I think sometimes when we compare ourselves to other people and what other people are doing, how that can really throw us off our game. And it's really like coming back to basics. What's important for you and your family? And yeah, I think you can love motherhood and love your independence. Caitlin was saying that getting fit has really helped. Totally. Even just taking a shower alone. Sometimes it's those little things. Morgan was saying yes to makeup. I had to figure out how to get dressed. Oh my God, getting dressed. It was like trying to discover how I even liked to dress, because I had been wearing maternity clothes forever. Like, I felt like I got really big with Esme, and then after postpartum, I was still wearing a bunch of maternity clothes because I wasn't going to torture myself and try to fit into old clothes. And like, even then you sort of think like, this is not even the clothes I like to wear. Like, who am I? So yeah, and so after reading this article, it almost made me cry a little bit, because it's like, oh, Tanya was saying she's covered in tattoos, as I love that art form. It took a long time to have the confidence in mother not to give a shit what the other perfect mother stereotype. Yes, exactly. It's true. It's like, you just have to do you. And it's funny that you say that about the tattoos, because last year, a little bit like early last year, I had pink hair, and I never quite realized how judgmental people can be. And I just remember Esme had to go to the clinic. So I took Esme and went to the walk-in clinic, and I remember the woman looking at me like, trying to figure out if I was the mom. And I'm like, really? Because of pink hair? Like, isn't that weird how people can judge your outer form? But coming back to the whole subject matter is like, I can still love to do crazy things with my hair and be a really kick-ass mom. Like, there isn't a connection there, right? Mara was saying she's afraid to go to gym because my husband doesn't think he can take care of our 1-year-old without me. Oh yeah, you know what? She's 1. I totally get that. Can I be totally honest? Jack is 3, and I feel like we've just turned a corner in the last few months as to my independence. You guys know that I breastfed Jack for a really long time. Like, Esme was 20 months, Jack was 30 months. I just remember that because it's like solid numbers. But it's only been up until recently that I've been able, like today, I was out working and I had appointments and things all day long from 9 a.m. and I got home at about 6 p.m. That's crazy. I never do that. And everybody survived. And I was like, what that. And part of that was going to get my eyelashes done. I went and got eyelash extensions. So if you're not on Instagram, I shared the information there. But I was super pumped. And my husband's like, yeah, go do it. Like, you can have fun too. And I just think, isn't that awesome? Like, it's important too I mean, I talked about this like in the last few sit down mom sessions, and just talking about having that communication with your spouse and the people around you, like to talk about your needs and what you need to do, because if you don't communicate, you're not going to get the help, and then you won't be able to find yourself and all the things. Sarah's saying she wants to get those too. You're talking about the eyelashes? Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. It's only been day 1 or like hour 3. But yeah, it's just very interesting. So even on Tuesday last week, I met with Kelly Bourne, and we were talking on my Facebook Live show about finding your interests and finding your hobbies. So if you're curious about that, head over to my Facebook page. But yeah, Tanya, he will be okay and your baby will survive. Yes, it's so true. And so talking about to your spouse, like giving them the confidence and letting go a little bit to let them know that they will be fine. And there's times of the day, I'm sure, as a breastfeeding mom especially, that you can sneak out and everybody would be fine. Like I remember my kids used to nap around 11 and then, or like 10:30 and 1 o'clock or something like that. And I would, like the second that baby fell asleep, I was out. And even if it was only 45 minutes, and if I got a text from Dean, like the baby's freaking out, can you come help me? At least it was 45 minutes. You know, if it was just like a solo coffee or a walk around the mall, like who knows, right? These funny comments. But, and sometimes like they cry just because you're in the process of leaving. So, I think you were talking about, Jessica was saying like not leaving at night. I even myself, like my kids are 3 and 5, and I haven't actually gone away on my own, just one night actually in October, and everybody survived, and I was really stressed out about leaving them, but I wanted to attend an event for me because I have desires and things going on outside of my role as a mom, and we made it happen, and it's kind of amazing when it does. So yes, right? And I think that like that mom guilt that creeps in, I think that part, like when it comes in, you got to like punch it in the face, because you have to remind yourself that you doing things that bring you joy make you a happier and better person. And it's totally okay to do those things within reason, of course, and still be a really great mom. So, and Sierra Mama was saying leaving was tough, but they are fine after a few minutes, generally speaking. Yes. In fact, I have recently enrolled Jackie in, like my son Jack is 3, if you're unfamiliar, but I've enrolled him in a little preschool situation. It's like tops, it'll be 2 days, but we're slowly getting him into it. Like we did a half day and then we're going to do a full day and we're going to do this. And I am having a hard time with this because I feel like I'm home, but the reality is I'm working. And, you know, am I being a great mom if I'm sitting there on my computer and I've just popped like an iPad in front of my kid? That doesn't make me happy. Although sometimes it needs to happen. It's been happening a little too often. And so I realized, you know what? It'd be better for everybody if we had this like designated time where Jack can go to preschool and then I can work on my work uninterrupted, and then he comes home happy and entertained and enriched because he's had this awesome day, and I'm done my day and done my workload, and now I can be a great mom, and that's totally okay. So it's truly like sometimes you even have to like make a list and figure out what's going to make you happy and how we can accomplish that. Cassandra saying her husband has been a champ from the beginning. I recently went away for a night solo for the first time with a 16-month-old, and it was glorious. Oh my God, yes, Myra. She needs a break. She's losing it with her 3-nager. Oh my God, Jack just realized he's 3. It's full on, like full on. Let me tell you. Lisa was saying your life and your relationship with your partner doesn't cease to exist. We should remember that the baby is a new addition to your family and you're incorporating this new life into your existing world. Totally. That's such a great point because, you know, there's often people will say, generally people without kids will say, oh, when I bring a baby into my life, like nothing's going to change and they're just going to like roll with the punches. Yeah, good luck with that. Call me at week 3 and let me know how that's going. However, I think that there's truth to that once you come out of that 4th trimester. For me, it's usually around like the 1-year mark because I sort of give myself a year. I did that with both kids, and it was nice to like just take the pressure off. And then once a year kind of came and went, it was like, okay, what's important? What do I want to get back into? But for some people, I had a girlfriend actually, and she made a point. She said 3 children. And when her kids were about 3 weeks old, she just handed the baby to the husband and was like, I'm going out. and I'll see you at the end of the day. She just needed a day because 3 weeks is a very long time with a newborn on limited sleep. Am I right? Yeah. So it's just, anyway, I think it's nice to have these conversations to remind us of, that we're either have all been through it or we're in it at the moment. And, I think there's a lot of quick to judge people for various things, but you just got to do you. Let's see here. Jessica was saying, I always remind myself that the season of small kids will be short overall and I'll probably miss it. Yes. And in the article that I was referencing, she even mentions like in the same breath that you feel like you want to run for the hills, you're going to feel like they're only little for this time and you want to soak it all in. And it's okay to feel those exact same feelings at the exact same time. Lisa, I wish we could all go for coffee and chat. No joke. I was always thinking like, what would a meetup with AmandaMuse be like? I feel like it'd have to be like sponsored by a coffee company. We could just like chat, have a roaring fire. I was going to throw this fire on here, but then I thought I would get very warm just sitting in front of it. But yeah. Aster saying, need supportive bosses as new moms, figure it out. Totally, because I feel like you're just looking for that rope, like as a new mom, like somebody throw me a freaking line to tell me that there is light at the end of the tunnel and that, I'm okay to feel all of these things. And I think the message I always try to share is like, you're never going to get it perfect from the very beginning. And I fully, wholeheartedly believe you are allowed to just be like all immersed in newbie baby stage and like confused and happy and sad and tired and maybe in pain because breastfeeding a newborn, you know how that goes. But I think it's totally okay to be completely lost. And then there's a point where you're like, okay, I've done it. Let's close that door. Let's enter this new chapter of motherhood where I can be an awesome mom and an awesome human. And let's marry those two things. Am I right? So yeah, I'll just see if there's any more comments here popping up. I do like to keep these videos short and sweet. Oh, the baby smell, Tanya. I know. She has stinky boys who fart a lot. No joke. That baby smell, it's what's the word? I can't even deal. Like as the mom, like I think I can still smell baby Jack. The life of values one, does this happen with baby number 2 also? Yes. I feel like, you mean like losing yourself in motherhood? Totally. And I think like, I'm always very, like keep my expectations way low when there's something crazy like bringing a new baby into a family, because it's still going to switch everything on its side. Everybody's going to be like, I don't know, like I just throw every plan out the window that you thought you had, and your main goal is to keep everybody fed and rested as much as possible. And that's it. Like, I think it's crazy. This is a side topic, but I truly think it's crazy in North America. I can only speak in North America because I'm not quite sure everywhere else, but how like people come and visit everybody in the hospital once they've had a baby, and like everyone's at the house. Like, honestly, back off. I feel like new moms, that is a whirlwind situation you've just been through. And I, in particular with my first, had an emergency C-section. I had a very bad situation with the epidural. I didn't know what was going on. And I remember, I've talked about this before. I do have birth stories, but like I remember opening my eyes and realizing that there was no baby in my belly and freaking out because I didn't know where she was. And my poor husband, who was asleep next to me, I was like, get up, get the baby. And I made him like, he's running down the hallway in his pajamas and like taking pictures of Esme because she was in the NICU. And it was a whole situation, but it was very, very hard. And I could not imagine having to like entertain people. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. So I think it's like, we have to remember that it's a very big experience. And some people, true, have a baby and it's like no big deal and they look like it was just a walk in the park. I'm looking at you, Marie Bits and Clips, if you're watching this. She looked fabulous after my friend just had a baby. She's on YouTube as well. I did not look like that. And some of us just need to like push pause and realize like everything has to go by the wayside and you have a brand new baby and you're allowed to like lose it basically. And then you come out of it eventually after the 4th trimester. Let's see here. It's going so quick. Oh, someone was saying the parents were there to help them. And my in-laws did come out and we had spoken beforehand about whether or not Question, do you honestly think there are people out there that have no struggles when entering motherhood? No, I don't think so, Georgia. But what I think is that sometimes when we have such high expectations, that I think everyone struggles for sure, but there's a struggle, and then there's a struggle and disappointment, which can lead to very upset feelings about motherhood, and that we're not living up to our own expectation of what we think people expect of us, and it starts to get very murky. And I think it's important to realize, like, you're not alone and you have support, and it can be very lonely and isolating. And I've talked about that before, just motherhood in itself. And, I heard today even, so she probably won't mind that I say this, but the woman that was doing my eyelashes was saying that her sister-in-law is pregnant, and there's a family member that's pretty much like pestering her about her weight gain. Oh, how much weight have you put on now? I'm thinking, that is horrific. Like, a person should not say that to anybody, let alone a pregnant woman who is going through a huge change. Growing a human's kind of a big deal. And I think, what kind of message are we sending? Like, that she needs to be a certain weight? Like, no. So I think we just need support. Am I right? So, yes, Tanya. Motherhood can be really lonely. And, I think sometimes, even though I share this message, I'm still a mom too, and I'm a mom, and I've got 2 little ones. By the way, if you're new, my daughter is 5 and my son is 3. And I also work from home doing this is my job. And so I'm talking to you guys, but I'm also just sitting by myself in the basement. So if you really get down to specifics. So there's a lot of times where I'm actually just spending a lot of time by myself, to be honest. And like everybody else, have to force myself to be social outside of my work and outside of social media. The life of breastfeeding seems to me so natural. Oh, I missed that one. But I did see something about baby blues there. And yeah, there's, sometimes we don't even realize we're in those baby blues, coming back to what I was talking about before. Shira was saying that her in-laws were being really bad about her weight gain, and she told them to take a hike. Good. Oh, people, they probably knew better. I might have just taken a chunk out of them. I put on so much weight when I was pregnant. Like, I'm the first to be like, I broke my bed, okay? That's how big I was. Dean still jokes, and he's lucky he's still living, but he told me we were in the same fighting class. Have you seen my husband? He's kind of short and stocky, so I'm not short, but I was stocky. Own it. That weight will eventually come off. Anybody can take the weight off. It can be harder for some, because it took me a while with Jackie. How did you know you were ready to have kids? Do you ever really know? I kind of had the basics in place, and then we just went for it. We didn't know what we were to expect. Let's see here. Aster was saying she's working from home right now, stealing a bit of time away from studying to watch. Thanks, Aster. I love it. There's so many great people here just saying, like, just supporting. That's what I love about this community we've created here in, like, AmandaMuse section of YouTube, is it's very supportive. And even though we don't all parent the same, which of course is to be expected, we don't lead our lives the same, we don't cut our hair the same, we don't do our makeup the same, why would we parent the same? We can be very supportive of one another, Yeah, you never really know if you're ready to have kids. Ain't that the truth? How do you know when you're done having kids? Oh, Katie, that is a tough one. You know how I know I'm done? Because it's like when you think you might be pregnant and you're like, like, that's when you know. When you realize that, yeah, Lisa, I broke my bed. Mic drop, no kidding. Honestly, the things I say, I can't even make up. But knowing when you're done is a tough question, because there's a woman that she probably knows who she is. She's been watching my channel since I had Jack, and she had her daughter at exactly the same time. And we've just she's been watching and we've been chatting over the years, and she has 2 older girls. Then there's a bit of a gap, and then she had a 3rd one. And she said for sure, they thought they were done forever. And then they just had another one. And it was like, they didn't think that they would ever have a 3rd, and then they did. And she said now she feels like her family is complete. Another way you know you're done is when your husband's like, baby number 3 is going to be with husband number 2. So that's one way. Ask your partner. That's a good way to find out. Oh, man. Yeah. So anyway, I thought it would be just nice to talk about something I think a lot of us can relate to. And that article that I shared on Facebook was shared a bunch. And it just made me realize, like, yes, we all get it. We're all in it. And I'm curious to know, and we could talk about this another time, but like, what are some of your dreams and goals for like when your kids get to that age where you can like, you know what Dean and I fantasize about? When you're just like, you know what, it's time for bed. And they pitter patter up the stairs and crawl their cute little butts in the bed and just go to bed. Is this a myth or will this happen? I need to know because we talk about this all the time. But when they get to that point, you know, what is something you want to do? I know I've mentioned this before because it's truly a dream, but I used to ballroom dance and damn it, I'm going to get back into it. And it's not even something I do with Dean. Dean and I have been together for like 13 years and he doesn't ballroom dance. In fact, when he does, like, I laugh so hard that there's tears. Like, I'm way better than him, and I know it, and he knows it. Like, we just can't. Oh, documented journey. She wants to go to the bathroom by herself. Girl, me too. I don't even have locks on my door because what's the point? That my son would have a screwdriver, he'd be getting in there. But that's something for sure that I want to take up ballroom dancing, and it is a little bit of an expense, and so it's like, you know, once I have that time, I can't wait. But by then, I'll probably be like shuffling them back and forth to hockey or something. Gosh. Anyway. Well, guys, this is a great... Oh, photography. That's a nice one. Brittany, to not have to share her food. I love that one. My kids don't eat anything I like, so I don't have that problem right now. Her oldest is 13 and can babysit. What? That's awesome. Oh, Carla, I feel you. The 11-month-old trying to sleep through the night. You know, you don't want to ask me. It took a very long time for my kids to sleep through the night. But the nice thing is with second children, you're so sleep deprived that it doesn't even hurt anymore to be awake 5 times a night. The only thing you share is smoothies. See, smoothies is good because then they're getting some nutrients. Oh, goodness. Anyways, guys, this was a great chat. I'm glad you all participated because it's super fun, and I love seeing the comments as we go here. And I hope that I hope it was just a little bit of like, yes, we're in it. You know, we're in it together. So I wish you guys all the best. Hope you have a great night and a great day wherever you are. And if you're new, I hope you consider subscribing. I'm AmandaMuse, and I put up videos live on Monday. Wednesdays and Sundays are regular scheduled videos. And if you're just catching the tail end of this or you didn't catch it live, I'm going to be live tomorrow on Facebook with Emily Norris. I'm so excited. She's like my new buddy from the UK. Have you watched her cleaning videos? They're seriously addictive. So we're going to chat on Facebook and go through like kind of related to what we're talking about today, but we're going to be talking about, you know, just motherhood, like the evolution of a mother. You know, what are things we thought motherhood would be like versus how they are now? She's been married to her husband for 12 years or with her husband for 12 years, and I've been with mine for 13. And just like, that's a long period of time. I was a baby, basically. I'm turning 33 this weekend. I was 20. Like, that's crazy. Just baby Amanda. So it'll be fun to talk about like, just how things have changed. So I hope you guys can catch me there. And that's it. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video.